The Jewish community today is so different, radically different from what it was 50 years ago. Community is not a given. People are looking for developing their own path in a way that doesn't necessarily bring them in conversation with other people on a comparable path. We live in an era that's very much of a DIY Judaism more than it is about community. And that's something I think we've lost. It's a tremendous loss. To make people value community is much more difficult than it is to cultivate community among people who are seeking it. And I think that 50 years ago, people just took community for granted. People took community for granted. There were many ways in which they took observance for granted. There were many ways in which they took their Jewish identities for granted. And Professor Jack Wertheimer, in a class I took while I was at the seminary, once said, "We live in an era in which we are all Jews by choice." It's a term that's traditionally reserved for those who convert into Judaism. But really, our reality is that it's no longer a given that people are going to choose Jewish partners. It's no longer a given that people are going to choose to live somewhere where they can experience a rich and fulfilling Jewish life. Some of that is about the way that the context has changed and the world outside the Jewish community has changed. And some of that is about the way in which those outside influences have chipped away at the core of what we've had. And that's not to say that it's all bad. There's a lot of creativity that's extraordinarily exciting, and there are opportunities for expression that never existed. And certainly 50 years ago, no one was going to be asking a woman about her role as a rabbi. It wasn't even imaginable at the time. But we've, as much as we have grown and creatively expanded what Judaism looks like, I think we've sacrificed a lot in the process as well.